This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform helping you succeed online. This is the Vivo X300 Ultra, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. Now, which of these two Ultra phones have the better cameras here in 2026? Well, hopefully this video helps you decide for yourself. But I'm going to put the camera specs up on the screen because I don't want to go through them all. But essentially on paper, Vivo has the better camera hardware, the larger sensors across the board. So on paper, the Vivo should win this contest hands down. But since it's not played on paper and software image processing plays a large role in what people prefer, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of folks out there who are used to and actually prefer Samsung's image processing out of the box, while I think a lot of other people will prefer the more natural image processing that Vivo takes. But good news is that both of these are pro camera systems, and if you don't like what you see out of the box, they both have the capability for you to tweak the images if you understand how to use pro camera software, as well as post-process your images and videos. And here's some portrait video from the Vivo X300 Ultra, as well as portrait video from the Galaxy S26 Ultra. So you should be seeing this artificial background blur here in this indoor office situation. But like I always do, I'm going to show you a bunch of photos and videos, this time in just daylight. So this will be video 1 of 2. Come back and I'll show you the low light photos and videos in another video. But hopefully this helps you decide which of these two camera systems are the best for your smartphone camera needs in good lighting situations. Again, come back for another video where I'll show you the low light photos and videos. So go ahead and check these out and let me know what you think. However, just a quick break from the video to remind you that having a personal or business website is a great way to organize and centralize your online content and activity, from news posts to blog posts to social media activity to any content that you produce like photos or videos. So if that sounds good to you, then today's sponsor, Squarespace, definitely has you covered. Simply sign up for a free trial, then use their Blueprint AI website builder to put together your website in minutes, or select from their library of templates to get started. It's easy to pull in content from YouTube, Instagram, other social sites, and even your own photos and videos. Quickly add your social media links to quickly display them on your site as well. It's also easy to add and customize an online form for people and brands to easily reach out and contact you. And when you're ready to publish your website, go to squarespace.com/grantlikestech for 10% off your first website or domain. I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video, which helps me bring you more content like this. So let's go ahead and get back to the video. Cameras, so here's a video test of the rear cameras of the Vivo X300 Ultra and Galaxy S26 Ultra. As you can see, they both are actively recording from the rear facing cameras. And today we're starting out with the ultra wide cameras at 4K 60 frames per second. So I'm just going to pan around here in this particular setting in the park to give you a side-by-side view of how these ultra wide cameras look and compare. So clear skies, as you can see, so a lot of blues, greens, and that red shed over there. So a lot of colors to compare here. Again, these are the ultra wide cameras. And we'll move into the main camera here on the Vivo and on the S26 Ultra. So of course the Vivo is going to be a tighter crop here at 35mm versus the wider focal length here of the S26 Ultra main camera. So I'll just do the same thing and I'll pan around to give you a side-by-side view of how these main cameras look in the same setting here and how they may adjust the exposure for the afternoon light, especially when we pan back up into the sky. So overall, both looking very good. No drastic changes. We'll pan over here and we'll test the zoom out on that cell tower. So 85mm 3.7x telephoto lens here on the Vivo, and S26 Ultra dual telephoto lenses. This is a 3x, the weaker of the two, and the 5x, the better of the two. And we can move into a 10x on both. So you can see what they look like here. And we'll move all the way into the max 30x zoom on the Vivo and a max 25x here on the Samsung. So both pretty clear and pretty stable at this max zoom length. We'll move them back out on the Samsung and on the Vivo to their main cameras at 1x, and then we'll go here and test autofocus on the post with the Vivo first and away. So focus up real nicely and should have a nice natural bokeh or background blur, shallow depth of field on each, but especially this Vivo with the large sensor here. Samsung too, so we'll do it right now and away. And here you go, Samsung. You can see the bokeh on the Samsung, and we'll go back to the Vivo. You can see stronger, shallower depth of field on the Vivo, but both focusing up pretty quickly. And we'll go ahead and walk down the stairs so we can test the stabilization and show you what that looks like here side by side as I go down the stairs and through this pathway. You can see how the colors may shift with the shade, and I'll try to just try to stress out the stabilization a bit. So there you go, a quick 4K video test here on the Vivo X300 Ultra and Galaxy S26 Ultra. And we're back at the same setting, this time with log video on each. So this is 4K 60 frames per second. So it's nice, they can both shoot at 4K 60 in log format, and they both are at the ultra wide cameras again, so you can shift between the lenses. So I can actually go ahead and move into the main lens on the Vivo and on the Samsung. You can see right there. And then we can go even to the telephoto lens on the Vivo, and then the 3x telephoto on the Samsung, 5x telephoto on the Samsung. So all lenses work here in log. We'll back them both out to the main camera. And so compare this footage here that you just saw in fully auto to this color graded footage here in log on each, and let me know what you think about the footage, how the colors look, and how they compare to the fully auto footage that you just saw before it. So here's the video test of the front-facing cameras of the X300 Ultra and S26 Ultra. This is being shot at 4K 60 frames per second. And so obviously I'm outdoors, but this is some shaded area, so you can see what this looks like. To me in the viewfinder, the Vivo's looking a little bit more natural. The Samsung exposure is trying to boost everything up. But some people might prefer that because you can actually see my face a little bit better. And just keep in mind that the Vivo at 30 frames per second, the exposure will be more aggressive. It'll look a lot closer to the Vivo. So if you like that, you might want to go down in frame rate or just use Pro Mode to get the look that you're actually looking for. You can bump up the exposure there if that's what you prefer. But I'll go ahead and step out into the light here, and it should be shining directly on me right now. So you can see what this looks like here in this particular lighting situation with a lot more light. You can see what that looks like here, how the exposure is handling. And I'll just go ahead and pan around to get a chance to see what this looks like as the lighting changes. So as it goes from more in front of me to more behind me right now, and more off to my right. And I'll pan all the way back around this way, and we'll start walking, and you can see what this looks like. The lighting is going to go in and out as the shade changes. So that gives you a good chance to see what that looks like here, as well as what the stabilization looks like side by side. So let me know what you think about the front-facing cameras here on the X300 Ultra and the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Hey everyone, so we're back with the front-facing cameras, this time at portrait video turned on each. So you should be seeing this artificial background blur. And just note that the Samsung is limited to 30 frames per second in this mode, while the Vivo can still shoot up to 60 frames per second, which is probably why it's looking a little bit darker, to be honest, in the shade, but a little bit more natural in my opinion. But we go out into the sunlight here, so a lot more light that this effect requires. You can see more of this background blur effect or bokeh effect right now with the lighting. And if I keep panning around, you can see how this shifts with the lighting conditions. And it should start looking better here. And as we come around this way, you can see a little bit more depth behind me. And I think the picture quality is probably looking a lot better, and you can see the bokeh effect a little bit better on each. And we'll pan all the way around. And I'll just start walking like I did before, so you can see how this effect holds up with some movement, as well as how the picture quality looks as the light goes in and out with the shade. So let me know what you think about portrait video here on the X300 Ultra and the Galaxy S26 Ultra front-facing cameras.